back, guys. This is episode 10.
Man, my head is cut off.
Oh, shit. Different scenery. We are on our way to Stuart,
Florida, home of Revive Gym, super prestigious bodybuilding gym. If you're not in the scene, you might have not heard of it, but if you are, you probably have. Nick Walker's trained there. Chris Bumstead is going to be there tomorrow. So we're going to get some training in with my coach and then check out a seminar tomorrow.
Yeah.
What is today? Today is January 28th for those of you watching or listening at a later date.
So, with that being said, we have at least 2 hours to go. This road trip, this old boys trip has been a 3-hour road trip. We are going to Stuart, Florida to work out, and then a seminar, basically. So, what better time to film a pod? Today's topic is business. Part one. Part one
of Alex.
Yes. We have a lot of information to tell you guys, and hopefully maybe some advice for people that just want to start out, thinking about owning their own business, or maybe don't know how to start. Of course, as you can tell, we're not teachers by any means, but hopefully you guys might have some inspiration just by hearing our stories.
Yeah.
All right.
The best teacher is just getting out there and doing it yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Experience.
In my experience, going out by, I think, honestly, the hardest thing about owning or starting your own business is the first step. The first step is quitting your job, and going out and actually doing it. I feel like a lot of people, and I want your take on this too. I wonder if a lot of people get scared to start their own business because they're scared to lose their stability.
Well, I'm going to directly disagree because I worked full time for like 2 years while starting my coaching business. So I didn't quit a job to start a business. I worked a job and started a business. So it depends on your time. It depends on also what you're doing. For most people, I would recommend start your business before you quit, unless you happen to have a ton of money saved up or just came across like an investment, and start to see if you can make yourself profitable before quitting your full-time job. But I mean, it depends on the position you're in. Like I think Alex's answer will make more sense once we talk about what he was doing prior to starting his own business.
Yes. I mean, I somewhat agree with you on things. This is actually very similar to my story. So, as you guys know, I barely graduated high school and then went into college. Figured college wasn't for me, so I immediately got a full-time job working in construction. My thing is of course I'm young. So in construction, when you first start off, your paycheck is really, really low. I mean, depending on where people are, I was doing construction in Georgia, so my paycheck is it's not even up to $1,000 yet. It's a little bit underneath, and this is a job that you're working from morning to night.
You got $1,000 a week or $1,000 every 2 weeks? What do you mean by
Oh, we're talking weekly. So I think when I started there, I got $625. But
and what kind of hours are you working?
Oh, from 6 to 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So basically my whole entire Monday through Friday, 6 to 6. That's how I was working construction.
It's like $10 an hour.
Exactly. And my thing is I didn't have a problem with the actual job itself. Like, yes, it's tough, but I feel like if you're working and investing in time and putting a lot of energy into something, that it would be a little bit more rewarding than just $625. And I did that job for like, I think 3 or 4 years, until I started realizing that um, the jobs that I was doing, my boss was earning at least $5,000 to $8,000 minimum per job that we were doing. So I started questioning myself, why couldn't I do that? Like, why am I doing all the work and not making at least 10% of the money?
Yeah.
So of course, like for a straight year, that's when I really started hating my job, because I had that mentality of, why am I doing this work for less than 10% of his money? I understand there's a lot of factors into it, like he has to pay company insurance, company cars, and all that. But at the end of the day, who's doing all the work? Me and my crew. So, for a year, I started kind of dabbling with it. And back to what you were saying in the very beginning, that's actually what I started, is during the summer of, I think, 2017, I still worked that job from like 6 to 6. But then at nighttime, my very first crack at starting a business was actually fencing.
Fencing like with the swords, or fencing like a wall?
No, fencing like building backyard. It was super easy. All you had to do was dig fence posts. Um, Easy as in like very simple application to the work. Obviously very hard as far as like actual labor goes. But you dig fence posts, you put in posts, you put some 2x4s, and then you get those pickets, and then you just nail gun everything. So
how did you know how to do all this?
Experience.
So you had already done these jobs?
Yes.
Okay.
I've already done these jobs, and of course, even if you don't know, you have to do your research. There's always more room to improve on things. So honestly, at the very start, you can definitely tell my quality of work from my first job to my last job. So yeah, during the summer, I took a crack at it. That summertime, like the daytime is like, I think the sunset is
late,
around, it's super late. So after that job, I would go straight into my job, and people might wonder, how do you find clients, or how do you market yourself? And same thing we're doing right now with you guys. You have to put yourself out there. You have to think outside the box, or sometimes you have to simplify it. Back then, obviously I didn't have as much knowledge as I do have now, but I did keep it simple. I started knocking on doors. That was the first thing I did. I started knocking on doors, applying myself to Facebook, reaching out to everybody, grabbing flyers and putting them in coffee shops and everything. And that's basically how I started. I didn't quit my job, but I made sure that I still had that income coming into me at the same time, working something for myself. So when I was self-sustainable, I would be able to quit my real job.
So to elaborate on what you said before, you're encouraging people to like take a risk on themselves and quit their job to start a business. But really, in both our cases, we started that business and then still had to believe in ourselves enough to quit that job.
Yes. I feel like people, and the way I feel like this is because I have a lot of friends, and even some co-workers that are still at the job that I was working from 6 to 6. So literally spending my whole life with them on a year-to-year basis, and they're still at that job right now, probably working. And I'm the only one that took a leap of faith. And the thing is, I feel like some people are really scared to hustle for themselves or make something of themselves. Like they want to start their own business or maybe start a music career or whatever the case might be. But they're just too scared to do it because they already have a stable job. So they always have those question factors like, what happens if? And sometimes you need to stop thinking thinking like that. Like, don't think about what happens if. You need to start thinking about your game plan and be serious about it. I feel
so for you, just to push you back into that time frame, when you quit that job to start your own business, what was your worst case scenario?
My worst case scenario was realistically nobody was going to hire me.
Okay.
And I was going to, and it was really, honestly, it was a test trial. The fencing was a test trial. And to be honest with you, it almost happened. And this is exactly what I mean by you cannot expect anything going into stuff. You have to try 100%, but you cannot expect anything. The fencing job, I started it in the summer, and guess when it ended? At the end of summer. Turns out fencing is good. Not many people want fences after the summertime. It kind of makes sense, though. I mean, I get it.
I guess the point I was getting at is like, for most people, worst case scenario, if you go out and you try something new and it fails, you're not really in any different spot because you can go back to where you were.
Exactly.
Like you could always go back and find another construction job, right?
Yeah, of course.
It'd be easy.
After the summertime, I did go back for a short amount of period. But of course, with that same mindset, it did let me down a little bit. Like, wow, I didn't really think it through, but I know I'm capable of doing it, if that makes any sense. So, like, going back to my old job after the first time I started my first business, I made a shit ton of money during the summertime. Like, I made a whole lot of money by myself. I was super proud because I made something of myself for those short 3 months. And maybe wrong business strategy because I wasn't thinking season, like it was a seasonal job. So I went back to my old job, and then I started really reevaluating like what I should do. But I knew at the end of the day that no matter what job it is, where it is, why I'm at that job, I knew I wasn't going to be satisfied if I was working for someone else. I feel like I'm the type of person that needs to be fully in control of my own life. And with that, I have to make something of myself. I have to make my own money to become successful and be proud of myself.
It also gives you freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom to work extra if you want to make more. Cut back if you want to cut back. Like I know, like right now, you try and work. You like front load the week. You get a lot done early, so you can focus on other projects or on yourself for the rest of the week.
Exactly.
So, all right, key takeaways. One, you gotta believe in yourself and potentially take some risks. Sounds like your first risk, the fencing business, taught you a lot, but that wasn't where you ended up. What other businesses either did you start, or what are you doing now for business? Like what does a day-to-day life look like for you now, business-wise?
Okay, day-to-day life for me right now, I try my absolute best to be 1 week ahead. I try not to schedule because I don't work in retail. I simply do construction for residential homes. The way I started it off was after my fencing job, I started actually doing handyman work. Going same appliance, and like I said, fencing was seasonal. Like it's more of a thing you do during the summertime, kind of like mowing lawns. But I figured what can I do on a year-round basis that I'm good at, that I am very skillful in, that I can always learn and grow. And that's one thing I will say. I don't think you should want to start a business in something that cannot potentially grow, or you can evolve. Hence, my name, shout out, Evolve Handyman, located in Gainesville, Florida. That's the whole reason why it's called Evolve, because we are always trying to do better and be better. Anyways, yeah, so I did handyman work.
Okay, give me. In case somebody's listening, they don't know what that means.
Handyman work is when your mom or dad, but mainly your mom, decides, hey, I need my blinds changed, I need my door fixed. Just little small tasks around the house that needs fixing. If you got a broken door that needs to be replaced, or you got a hole in the wall because your brother punched a hole in the wall. That's what you call me for. So I started doing those little jobs, and honestly, I wasn't making a killing. I really wasn't making a killing because, like I said, handyman's very small. It's like a small Bob the Builder, You're doing a small task, so I'm only asking, but again, I have the freedom. I schedule. As much as I'm putting in putting out is what I'm getting. So of course I'm working my ass off, trying to make sure I'm doing everything and anything. And another thing to note is when you're starting a business, and I'm sure you can agree on this, when you're starting a business, in the very beginning, don't be sloppy about it. Make sure you have a game plan. And no matter if you're selling a piece of apparel, selling food, or in my case, I was getting jobs by doing tasks, you need to make sure that it's 5-star level quality, or that your client or customer is happy with it. Because of course, if you don't have a good start, I mean, in some cases, I feel like you could build yourself back up.
You're building a reputation.
But yes.
So if you're in a clothing company and you sell stuff that like rips or breaks, and customer number 3 buys something that breaks, that they might never be a customer again. Somebody that might have bought from you for years and years and years. I'm sure the same with the handyman. Like if Alex goes to fix the door and he fucks it up, they're probably not going to call him the next time they need help. So doing, like you said, quality work. I'm sure this is huge for you, but customer service, like making the customer feel good, they're going to want to come back.
Exactly. And then on top of that, even us, because or anybody, if you're a human being, people like to talk. So of course, if I did a shitty job for my customer, and the neighbor maybe comes to my customer's house and asks, hey, do you have a handyman? And then of course they're going to be like, oh no, I don't recommend Alex because he did a shitty job. Or even where, like, yeah, my t-shirt ripped, I would not recommend it because it's poor quality. So
word of mouth is strong in either direction.
Very strong. Word of mouth is very strong, and my personal thing is the key to success when it comes to business is networking, and that is a part of this, is making sure that you have nothing but good reviews. I think in business, no matter what you're doing, reviews are honestly what's most important, if anything. I'm not sure what you're in, but I'm on Google, I'm on Yelp, Nextdoor, if you guys know what Nextdoor is. I'm on Facebook. Really anything you can think of that you can socially do, that's what I'm in. And I would highly recommend, if you're trying to start a business, like, I mean, hell, even if you're trying to start a soap business, don't limit your options to one thing, like selling it onto Facebook or something. Like, dabble in multiple marketing areas.
Yeah, 100%. Back to your jobs. So
yes.
Day-to-day life, what do you go around, you fix things
Yes.
basically. Okay. How does like a typical day work for you? You just like, do you reach out to clients, they reach out to you? How do you schedule things? Like go. I want to get a little bit more like nitty gritty. Like start a day, like
Day to day to me right now. Okay.
Monday. Go through Monday.
All right. So if it's a Monday, what I usually do is right now I'm based simply on referrals. So throughout the day, I'll always get phone calls asking, "Hey, is this Alex, the handyman?" or "Hello, is this Evolve Handyman?" And basically, they tell me their situation, as in, "Oh, I have this that needs to be done," and then after that, I explain to them, okay, like roughly. I think one thing what not to do is to never give a price over the phone unless it's obviously like a strict price. Like if you're selling a soap bar for $4, it's $4 no matter what. But if it's a service, I would highly suggest you tell the customer, like I do, you you let them explain what's going on, and then you ask, hey, would you like to schedule an estimate or a consultation where I can check things out in person? That way, when you go up to them in person, they know your face, they know that you're friendly, and you are gaining some type of trust. Because at the end of the day, this client or this person, in my eyes, on a day-to-day basis, they're trusting me to do a job for them in the home that they pay for, and then on top of that, they're giving me money. So I want to make sure that they know that I'm not just some random dude in a pickup truck doing some sloppy work for them. Like, I'm professional, but they also feel some type of trust, some type of connection with me.
Okay.
So in the mornings, I try to do my estimates and then schedule them a week out. The reason why I schedule them a week out, so I can anticipate them, so they know that I'm going to be there on time. I have a week of planning, so they know I'm not rushing into it. And then after all my estimates are done, I typically do about like 1 or 2 a day in the morning. And then, well, I have people. I'm starting to have people work for me now. So it is a little different, but I guess it's all the same, really. But then I actually go out and do the job itself. And when I'm at the job, I make sure I'm nothing but friendly. Remember that if someone's paying you, like for a service, like whether it's me, like what I'm doing, or a cleaning service, that you're catering to them. So the number one thing is customer satisfaction. So you aim to please, I guess you would say. I mean, of course, there's boundaries. You can't just do everything because, of course, they're paying for a service. In my case, I used to, I used to be, I used to do stuff for clients and like not documented, like no contracts or anything, where I would be like, okay, I'll come fix your door and I'll put up let's say I'll put up 3 picture frames. And then when I'm there and I actually do it, it turns out those 3 picture frames, they're like, oh, can you also put this one up? Can you also put this one up? And I'll say, no problem. I'm losing money at that point. So another thing to know, and we actually talked about this the other night, is documentation is good.
Okay. And with this, we're going to bring you our first commercial break announcement. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can reach out to us for direct donations. But also, we have some sponsors that we'd like to mention. No Cow, a gluten-free, dairy-free protein bar. You can use code Alex. All that'll go to him. He pays for, the mics, all those things for this podcast. He invests in this himself. So I want to get him a kickback there. I also own Athlicity, athlicity.co. If you want to go check out the website, it's all sorts of like sports apparel. You can use also code Alex on there, and that'll give him a kickback. Yes. It'll help my business grow. But either of those would really support us, so we can keep bringing out content like this for you guys for free. I'm going to go take a bathroom break, grab a meal. We're going to swap seats, and we're going to continue this conversation. I'm going to ask Alex some things about his business that might help you, such as scaling, advertising, things along those nature, like more nitty gritty customer segmentation and marketing, like who is his ideal client, things like that that'll really help you grow your businesses. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, we've swapped spots and we are back. So in this one, I want to go a bit more into some of like the nitty gritty details behind Alex's business, and really to see how he's set up himself for success. And then if any of you are considering starting your own business or have one, how can you use these same principles for yourself? So I think we'll start off. We've already talked some about his marketing, like he's creative, not just one platform, going out door to door, word of mouth. Those are all great things. But let's get a little bit more in detail there. Like, what, Alex, to you, is your target customer, like your ideal customer? Let's describe your ideal customer, and we'll go from there.
Okay, well, personally, in my business, my ideal customer is ideally women. Unfortunately, not many men. I would say almost like 5%. Like, whenever a man hires me, I am almost super surprised and super shocked, and it's due to the fact that they have no time to do it themselves. So mainly older women or women that have children, like babies. So they're at home and they need stuff done, or they want their house taken care of because they want to make sure it's safe for their children or their babies. Now, I didn't make it like that. I didn't make it like that. It just is. It is what it is. So a lot of these women, they have husbands that they stay at home. They're stay-at-home moms. They're stay-at-home moms, and their husbands have to go to work. So, of course, like the husbands are at work working probably all day, trying to making a living while the mom's at home. So that's pretty much my ideal client.
So this is the client that's kind of fallen into your lap. Like, these are the people that need the work, but it's also your ideal client. I know we've talked off air about why this is your preferred client, because with a guy, they might only want one thing, the one thing they can't figure out, or even if they're like super stressed out time wise, if you go and you do your job the way you know how to do it, in the way that works for you and other people, this guy might have an idea in his head because he's done it before. He's seen it done another way. Like, what you've told me is guys are more picky. Not that you're doing a bad job with the women, but just like guys might have it in their idea in their head of why it should be differently.
So, I myself included, men are known to have their, I wouldn't say ego, but more of the idea of, I can fix anything. And if you don't know how to fix it, as a man, you feel obligated to research or do it yourself. So when I do have a male client, most of the time, I already know that they're going to be picky. I know that they're going to be really strict. Even if I'm doing it right, or let's just say, like, when it comes to craftsmanship, at the end of the day, if it all looks the same and everything is functional, that is what I call a job complete. Now, the way you go about it, every craftsman has different ways to get there. Different tips, different tricks, different niches. So when it comes to the men, they like to watch me. I call them eagles. I call them eagles because they're always over my shoulder trying to, they don't let me breathe, and they want to watch everything I'm doing and tell me what I'm doing wrong, or, oh, you should do that, oh, you should do this. I'm okay with that sometimes. It does get frustrating sometimes, but I do know that I like working with women more just because they are more understanding. I'm not saying that they are that they don't know anything, but they're a lot easier to talk to, a lot easier to work with. I would almost want to say friendly, a lot friendlier. So
Do you think maybe that's just because of your like exceedingly good looks that they just enjoy your presence?
I wish that was the case, but honestly, no. Realistically, when the women ask me, it's more of like they have the idea, but they don't have the how to. And I think that's what's easier for me. Like, let's say I have to go in a residential house and it's a paint job. They want me to paint the entire house a certain color. They will literally call me and be like, I want the paint. I want this painted. I want that painted. But they're not going into details about it. They're not like, oh, you have to do it like this. You have to do it like that. They're trusting me to do my job correctly because it's my job. I'm in the business. They trust me with already knowing that I know what to do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Ideal customer, more than likely older woman.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if you guys are setting up your own business, you'll want to identify what your target or ideal customer is, because that's going to be more profitable for you. It's going to be less headache for you.
Yes.
It doesn't mean if I call Alex, he's not going to come work for me. It's just like he might not specifically market to me. Like maybe a good place for him to advertise would be like daycares. I don't know, places where like moms are going to go pick up kids. Like that's how you can start to think about this to run your own business.
Exactly. And the thing is, when I first moved to Gainesville, 2.5, 3 years ago, I realized that I didn't intentionally think that, oh, I'm just going to go target. I don't want to say target women. That sounds really terrible. But I didn't think that like women were going to be my main clientele. But as I started figuring out that women were my clientele and older women were, go to Gainesville, go to any retirement home, go to their bulletin board, and not see my business there. My business flyer is on any retirement home in Gainesville. I haven't had any daycares yet, but like I said, like when you market you got to know who you're marketing to. So if I'm understanding that most of my clientele are women, I'm gonna try and market to them, even older people. So that way it's easier access for them. So it's not harder for them to find me. It's easy for them to find me.
So think outside your box a little bit with marketing.
Yep.
Next that I want to dive into is the type of services that you offer and how do you upsell or increase the total value that you're able to both give and take from that client. Because if you've already secured a lead, if you already have a client, or you already have somebody that's willing to make a purchase from you, it makes a lot of sense business-wise to maximize on each one of those. So instead of making, $100 per client and having to find two clients to make $200, if you can make $200 off that first client, you're doing that much better. I kind of got weird with the wording, but
I understand.
So like, what I already know the answer to this, but I feel like this is worth sharing. So Alex, what do you do once you've secured a client, once you've even completed a job? What do you do to get recurring business or make more of an offer or value for that customer and for yourself?
Okay, well, there's multiple ways I go about it. So let's just say I'm done with the client. I get paid. I did the job that they originally asked for. And on top of that, I got paid. At the very end, what I'll tell them is I'll give them my business card. And you can do this for any business and go about it your own way. But you give them your business card or some type of deal, okay? So say, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to be working with you. Thank you. And what I do is if you give me a 5-star review or give me a review on Google, I'll knock off $100 off your next service with me. And I don't necessarily mean to do that in anybody's case, but in my case, it works for me because they know that if they ever have anything broken or needs renovation, that they can always come to me because they have that mindset of that I'm going to take $100 off. So I know that they will hire me again.
Yeah, and you get a review, so
exactly.
You get out there. That's a great idea.
Exactly. Or sometimes what I'll do is, like $100 off, or sometimes even like, because you got to think when it comes to business, you yourself for your business, you are going to be the most invested into it. So other people, they're not going to be looking up every single detail about your business. You want to make it easy for them. So if you want to market yourself and you want them to come back, you have to give them a reason for it. But I would highly suggest simplify it. So like even something simple for me, what sometimes what I would do is like a referral sheet. Like, so I say, hey, if you know anybody and that person hires me and they state your name, I'll give you $50. And I do that. And it keeps the people coming. I mean, you got to think like me at this stage, I don't look for clients, and I'm sure you don't really look for clients too. Like you don't go out of your way to look for clients. The thing is, I think word of mouth and reputation is honestly the most important thing when it comes to business. That's what keeps the business flowing. That's what keeps the people coming.
At this point, a couple of years in, at the beginning, I had to look.
Yes.
Had to advertise. Same way,
for sure.
Like
Me
with you
too.
at the retirement homes. But now, once you've established that business in that area and created some credibility and reputation, it'll just keep flowing, like Alex said, and having those referrals and incentives. Really, like you want to incentivize your customers to bring in more customers.
Every now and then, another thing I would do is I try because of course, like the town that I live in is fairly small, right? But last summer, what I did was I was at the gym, where I usually am, and I saw a couple of high school kids there. And, of course, high school kids, they're, damn, it's been a while since I've been out of high school. But their summertime is like, what, 2 months? 3 months?
2 months.
2 months?
When did you graduate high school?
2015?
It's 2011 for me.
Oh, wow.
Even longer. Okay.
So anyways, yeah, so during the summertime, I saw 2 high school kids just training, and I basically, went up to them and said, look, are you guys looking for a job? You got to understand, like, these are high school kids. It's not like they can work for me forever, and it's not like they're doing anything. So another way I did was, and this is very important, and we're about to get into this, I used these 2 high school kids to pass out flyers for me. And I said I would once a day. I'm not going to disclose how much money I gave them, but it was worth it for like a day-to-day basis. It's like a task, It's like a task. I tell them, look, here's a stack. Pass them all out into this neighborhood. Pass this stack to that neighborhood, like once or twice a week. And that itself has expanded me, forever. Because you got to think, a lot of people don't even leave their houses. Hell, even a lot of people don't even go online, A lot of people to this day still go up to their driveway in the morning and get their newspaper out. I mean...
Oh, yeah, especially like older people.
Exactly. So you can't just limit yourself to just, I'm going to just market myself online. Like even... like us right now, Mind and Body. I mean, I wish I could go into details about what we're doing, but like, the potential is limitless. I mean, we could be on the local news radio. You may never know. So that's one way I go about it. As far as expanding, I know what was the topic?
So the final topic, the final one that I really wanted to cover is like, what is your your bottleneck as far as scalability. So every business is going to run into scalability issues.
Right.
What I could say the biggest one right now is Alex only has 2 hands and he can only stand in one place at one time. So what are you doing to grow your business more than just yourself or to scale up what you currently have?
All right. So recently, I would say about a year and a half ago, I had this issue actually come up. So as you guys know, I started off doing handyman work, the little task, and then I expanded into doing home remodeling and repair work. So I go to residential homes and do big jobs like replace all the flooring, or maybe I want to build you guys a new shower or a kitchen, or paint the whole house. And with that requires more time, more hands-on. So currently right now, my main focus is on that, but you guys got to understand, my marketing, or the reason why people come back or I meet new clients, is off the handyman work, the little stuff. Unfortunately, I can't be in 2 places at once. So with that being said, I hired 2 people to do the little stuff for me. I hired people to do the little stuff for me, so that way my name is still getting out there. So I'm not, losing clients, because that's kind of like one thing you don't want to do. Is I've been in a position before, especially in Atlanta, where I was like denying jobs because I was getting so much work. This time around, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that people understand that I can do any job, too big or too small. Like, so the way I do it is hire more employees. If it's worth the investment, like let's say, not the real numbers. Let's say I make $1,000 a week. Let's just say I make $1,000 a week, and I could potentially make $5,000 a week if I stop denying all these jobs. So if you hire another person and you hire this person for $500 a week, how much profit are you making? It's like simple math. At the end of the day, it's simple math. It's worth it. I think you do need to realize how serious it is hiring somebody, especially if it's a full-time. You're hiring somebody for a full-time job. I mean, me currently, I'm doing part-time because that's all I can afford at this moment. But you just got to remember that when you hire somebody, like you're dependent on them to do the work for your business.
You feel responsible for them.
Exactly. Yeah. But you're also responsible for their paycheck. So you need to make sure that the jobs are coming, that you're stable, that you are ready to be able to handle these employees. And if you're not ready for that, then I don't think you're at that plateau level of trying to reach the next level.
Yeah. All right. Any other tidbits about your business that you want to drop? If somebody's like local in Gainesville, Florida, and wants to get work done from you, how do they reach out?
You can always look me up anywhere, any social site, any Nextdoor, Facebook.
So you can DM him?
Google, Yelp.
All right.
I mean, I don't even know. God knows what else. And that's the thing. Like at this point in time, and like you said, like in the beginning, if you're trying to start a business, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's rough. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard work. There's going to be a lot of tears coming out. There's going to be a lot of doubts of, oh, I can't make it. Oh, I can't make it. But the successful businesses, or the business people / companies, the ones that are successful are the ones that don't quit. You can't quit. And that's the thing with me is, I started a business and it failed, and I didn't give up. I just did it again and again and again. I basically forced it to become successful. Look,
there's hogs on the road.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we just saw pigs on the road. Oh my my gosh, I was so distracted because
Yeah.
they were actually kind of cute looking.
There's a whole family of hogs. Basically, if you start and you fail, you got to decide. Like for Alex, like the fencing turned out for him, it was seasonal, so he pivoted and found another role.
Exactly.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think everybody has the capability to become successful in their own skill set. I guess like what I'd like to get at real quick is like the best way to learn about business is to do it. And you can either do it yourself or like in Alex's case, how did he start a construction business, a handyman business? Well, he worked for one for a while. He learned it from the inside out. Like we were just talking, like if Alex wanted to open a nail salon, him and I don't really know about nails, but like the best thing you could do is probably go get a job there. Either a job to like learn what actually goes into it, or a management job to see how it's managed. If you're looking to become like a coach, like in fitness, like myself, hire a few coaches first. Learn from doing it, and then apply what you learn. Yeah, so hopefully this is helpful. If you guys have any questions, we're both pretty open books. DM us. Happy to cover them on air, or just send you a straight message back. But I think we got a lot out there.
Yeah. And before we close out, don't be scared. Don't be scared. If you're thinking about starting your own business, don't be scared. Take your time with it. Maybe start small. Example, if you want to open up your own soap business, start small. You don't have to make 1,000 soaps or 1,000,000,000,000 soaps and expect to have your own office or anything like that. Try to start local. Like go to like little vendors or maybe sell 1 or 2 a day. One of my friends, she's doing a thrift shop. She's trying to start her thrift shop business, and the way she's been doing it is at first I tell her, look, try to sell once a week, and then once you have claimed that you can sell at least 1 article of clothing a week, try to shoot for 2, and then shoot for 3, and then next thing you know, like boom, you'll have so many sold that you'll be upscaling, and then you need to hire people, and then you need more and more and more. So
starting this week, we are launching the John and Alex business consulting company. We're charging $10,000 per client up front. We only have 3 spots. They're going to be filled quickly. If you'd like to have them, make sure you hit like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Share this with people, and we'll consider you.
10,000 minimum.
10,000 minimum. With that, I hope you guys got some entertainment out of this. I hope we got some knowledge out of this.
Yes.
We're doing what we love. And will this be successful? I don't know. Get back with us in a few years.
Alrighty.
All right. Mind and Body. This is John, the Bodybuilding Vegan.
Alex.
All right.
Have the best day ever.
Have the best day ever.